Hi guys, DejaB here. Real Neo. Gonna just talk to you as short and quick, just like yesterday's captain's log. Today's subject will be the United Nations have now gotten their grubby hands on the internet. So the United States military invented the internet a long time ago, and well, they've finally given it up, and some people are down about it, and I just wanted to point out to you guys that there's hope, okay? Corporations, like governments, because the United States is a corporation since the 1800s, people. Corporations, like governments, and corporations that are governments, constantly evolve, kind of like let's say you invent video games or movies. You invent movies and you built your own studio and everything, and then you get bought up by a larger studio, and then yet a larger studio, and then eventually it's Disney. It's just the natural progression of corporations and how they constantly move forward under all situations. So now that you'll have the United Nations as actually being the policeman of the world again, and not the United States, then they'll have to start taking responsibility for the actions that they do. So they won't have any fall guys. I mean, like I said, if you try to think about what the UN has ever done that's good, I can't come up with anything. And I've heard about the UN my entire life. The little blue helmets show up, they keep the two tribes or countries from fighting for a little while, and they give them bottled water and GMO food, and then people start dying. And then they come in and say, well, you needed immunization shots. And then they give them shots, and then they start dying. And it's just ridiculous. There's nothing that they've ever done. So it's kind of like a church for governments or corporations. It's kind of like the enforcers. So they all like kick in, kind of like mobs in like a street neighborhood. Everything global is local. And they've kicked in enough to finally build up the enforcers. And now the enforcer is there. And it's no longer going to be the United States. And you better just hope it's not China. But then again, who the heck knows? All I know is exactly what I've said for a very long time, is that 9/11 was bullshit. It was obviously bullshit. And we still have spent trillions and trillions of dollars on bullshit. Well, why that is, I have no idea. All you have to do is say Building 7, and nobody can come up with it. Nobody can come up with why the CIA's headquarters there and Building 7 and all the Enron evidence was just all dropped at free fall speed, wasn't even hit by anything, dropped at 5:30 that afternoon. So again, the evidence and everything was there, but it wasn't trendy to rebel against it. So then you had the 9/11 truthers, and it's still not trendy to this day for some reason to have people that are honest and simply want the best for the future of the United States in this particular situation, which is their country. They may have children, they may have investments into the future here, so they kind of want everything to be copacetic and still there. But instead, we went and invaded Iraq. Wasn't any Iraqis on the planes. I mean, it just never ends, people. So when you demonstrate a willingness to accept bullshit, basically, then more bullshit is logically going to come at you. And that's where we're at today in 2016. October 4th, 10/4. The big news is out, and we always said there was going to be big news on 10/4, and there it is. So just understand that that's the natural progression of it. Little brief, quick history on the United Nations. The League of Nations, which is what started World War I, and then after World War II, they formed, the United Nations, and then they immediately went and seized land that they probably shouldn't have, or very likely shouldn't have, or obviously shouldn't have, but here we are to this day. And then you've got the United States, where medical marijuana is illegal in just about every state, at least 50% of them. But wait a minute, we've been funding medical marijuana for people with PTSD in Israel, on the other side of the world. So again, when you accept bullshit, Americans, expect more bullshit to come. This is what happens with NASA. I mean, not enough people said, hey, I don't see any Masons on that fucking moon. They never went to that fucking moon. But instead, we're still here. Oh, those people are crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. We'll keep them out of trending. We'll keep them off of television. And that's where the nature of that goes. And then all of a sudden people are shocked. Oh my God, SpaceX is moving forward with plans to go to Mars. it never ends. And again, you know, that was a South African immigrant that came to the United States, built up electric car factories, and then we don't get the cars go overseas. So again, this idea of saving America at this particular point is getting to a point where it's almost not possible. Like I said, $20 trillion in debt. They're about to stall their United Nations president here. If you guys don't know who that is, then, you know, again, you haven't been paying attention, because for 5 years I've said this is what their plan is, and pretty much for 5 years only a handful of people put the 2 and 2 together. You know, I didn't put that information out because I was trying to win on Las Vegas odds or something. I put that information out for you to see the Mason tricks coming right at you, right after all of us, and how to avoid it. Because again, if you stay truthful in all walks and everything that you do, you will be absolutely amazed at how the force field that you can build up around yourself and protect yourself from quite a few things that the Mason tricks can throw at you. So that's all I've got for you. Still more long-winded than I expected, but got to get to work. One love, and you guys take care of yourselves. And remember, every day is a day to kick the elitist ass. Never forget that.